Amidst all of the unrest in Iraq, has that price of oil now above $106 a barrel. The insurgency is moving closer to Baghdad, and those crude prices are soaring. Now it appears the market is worried the crisis could spread toward the oil-producing fields in the southern part of Iraq.
We call the segment Easy Money, where several times a week we focus on the dollars, coins, and currency that does indeed make the world go round. More often than not, it is all about what happens on the blue marble that affects each and every one of us right here. So as we dig into a few items that are money-related, reach down, grab your wallet or your purse, because it will shake and shudder just to touch it, what we're about to discuss. Trust me, there is nothing easy about money, my friends. First up, he is the editor of the website and newsletter Next Best Thing Investor Pro, along with being one of the more savvy market analysts in the known financial galaxy. Tobin Smith joins us today via Skype. Tobin, thanks for being with us.
And I love it, and I'll take that introduction every day.
That's quite all right. Don't worry. As a matter of fact, seeing this is about money, I'll send you a bill. We're joined by the editorial director of Newsmax Financial Matters here on set. Jeff Yastine joins us. Jeff, pleasure to see you again. Hi. All right, let's get right to it, gentlemen. And first, I tell you what, I'm gonna throw this up first of all for whoever wants to take it. We know what's happening in Iraq. Prices are going to go up. There's no two ways about it. How far are they going to go up again, and how shaky is all this going to be now when it comes down to oil prices, again, getting into the wallet of the consumer?
All right, well, let's not confuse oil prices right now. Remember, it's a globally priced product, and yet, I think a lot of people don't realize that Iraq was only producing 500,000 barrels a day a year and a half ago. Today, they're doing almost 2 million. And so that extra production has come from fields they're doing with ExxonMobil, they're doing with BP, they're doing with China Sinopec. Trust me when I tell you, those are very well protected sites, very well protected systems. The pipelines aren't going through enemy hands. So I think part of the market who buys oil every day and lives and breathes this understands that, number one, that the Iraq oil is much more secure from ISIS than other cities have been, number one. And then number two, you have Saudi Arabia, who has always stood in as the person in the middle who said if we needed to put another 1 million or 2 million back in, like happened with Libya, in its meltdown last year, Saudi Arabia can crank up from its 9.5 million, a day, easily up to 12 million. And that takes the slack out of it. So that's why you're not going to see $140 oil, because the one thing everybody knows is that you see $140 oil, then you're going to have demand destruction. In other words, you're going to have economies go into recession. You're going to have people sell their pickup trucks and get smaller cars, and that does not help them in the long term.
Please do not ask Americans to sell their pickup trucks. We're going to stop right there.
I'm just saying, they do it.
Stop. Don't go there. All right, Jeff, you're up.
Yeah, I agree with Tobin here, and I think one example that demonstrates the resiliency of the oil market in this situation is that despite those tensions and the fact that prices aren't higher, is that like China, this is a very underreported story, China is in the process of creating their own strategic petroleum reserve. And I'm basing this on a Bloomberg report that came out a few weeks ago. Between January and April, they were buying on average around 600,000 barrels a day of oil, which according to the report was a record for that time of the year. And they're looking to add, I think the ultimate figure was like 600, 700, 800 million barrels of oil to have the strategic petroleum reserve. Nobody knows exactly where they are even in topping it off. They believe it's probably going to be 2018, 2020 before they even have the capacity to store all that stuff. But it shows you that if the Chinese are in there buying this, and they've been able to do it at that level without really having too much of an adverse impact on jacking up oil prices. So I'm sorry, Tobin.
Tobin, go ahead.
I was going to say, to think about oil prices, you have to think about the man or woman who is in charge of actually buying the oil that's going to be refined next week that they already have sold at a price. A week-to-week basis, it's already taken care of, and that oil they may be processing they acquired 3 months ago or 5 months ago that they're storing. Where we get into is in the futures market. And if you look at the futures market between Brent crude, which is the European price crude, and our crude and the USA-based price, we're still about $10 below. If that spread starts to get bigger, then it actually helps the American energy business, because now they're able to, the producers and the refiners are able to buy lower price crude and sell diesel and sell the other product that they sell to Europe and make a bigger spread. So you can almost make an argument from an investment standpoint. I want to own Holly Frontier refiners. I want to own Valero. I want people who take advantage of that spread. So, it's not all bad news.
Okay, I got about 2 minutes left, but I want to hit something here along these lines as well, because we're talking about the fact that there are traders worrying, and I'm quoting from the New York Times today, traders worry about the potential for the fighting in Iraq to spread, which is why oil prices are rising. So are we right back where we've always been here? It's just the scare. Wall Street will react, and Jeff, I'll hit you with this first. It doesn't make a difference what's going on. They say don't worry about the oil supply, but the consumer is still going to get hit one way or another. What
we're talking about here is the traders would call this headline risk. You wake up in the morning, you see, okay, there's still tensions in Iraq, there's still these events going on, so there's always that bid. There's an excuse to bid up oil a little bit.
Excuse, there's the word.
Exactly.
There's the word.
Right, and Jeff, the other side of it is that we've had, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these scares, certainly since the Arab uprising and, 2-3 years ago. So the oil prices will go up on a temporary basis, and they'll come back down as supply comes to the market. And then the second part is, as Jeff said, the headline risk changes to something else. The difference here really is this beginning of a, Sunni Shia religious civil war up and down, not only here, but Syria, which is not an oil industry, but Iran, which certainly is. That's, I think, the 80, the 600-pound gorilla that's sitting back there. That does worry someone who is buying oil to be refined 6 months from now.
Okay, I've only got about 45 seconds left, so I'm going to ask both of you here because I swear I got calls today from friends saying if you don't ask, this is the one question. How much am I going to pay for a gallon of gasoline by Christmas? They're all worried about that. Tobin, I'll throw it to you first. I mean, how bad is it going to get?
If you're buying premium, pal, you're already at $4.50 in many states in the United States. And if we continue to go up, you're going to have $5 by Christmas, certainly.
Okay, what a Christmas present there. What a great holiday present. You still
I would agree with Tobin, yeah.
There's just no way to stop this, is there? I mean, it's you try to. Are we now not in that area where don't worry about falling
refining
gas prices,
capacity and other internal issues too?
There's so many other issues that affect that price. Yeah. I happen to be in Maryland. We have a twice the cost tax that they do in Ohio. Well, guess what? Ohio's could buy premium today for $3.85.
I tell you what, we're going to come around one day, Tobin, and we're going to just talk about taxes. That in itself will make everybody's head explode, and we could spend at least a week and a half of that by the time we get down to it. Tobin, thank you so much for joining us.
I could listen to it all day long.
We promise, well, not all day long, but we'll do it all day long. And by the way, happy Father's Day as well.
Same to you.
Okay, Tobin. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. Pleasure to see you again. And now you've given me another reason to make sure I go out and get my motorcycle all over again. I'm going to have to crank it up. All right, America, don't be that concerned. You're going to pay for it one way or another. Let's face it. We will continue to follow this story. You'll continue to tell us what you think about it by contacting us on Twitter, email, and, of course, Facebook. This is Midpoint, news for intelligent people, because we question everything.